going to hit this go live button. Going live, going live. We're live! So let me read out the following to you. It would help if I put the window in the right screen so I'm not turning my head. As I say, the well-known words. You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
How are you?
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering Air that Animate. No, Anime that aired the week of the 17th of July to the 23rd of July, 2022, with a couple of exceptions, starting with Spriggan, Episode 3, The Forest of No Return.
If you're stupid.
In which three terrible people are stuck in the forest, surrounded by zombies. We've got our main character, whose name I forget. I've forgotten all. The only person
How
I've
are
got,
you?
yes, we've got another school-going Tomb Raider,
Hoshino Seimei.
who also turns out she has the abilities of a medium.
Abe no Seimei.
Yes,
That's the joke.
she is a independent thief, essentially. She's
Tomb Raider, you might call her.
You might, yes. And then we've got Atsuki, a mercenary working for Trident, who are a conglomerate of 3 different arms dealers.
Yeah.
Who everybody is in this have gone to this forest to recover Soma, the food of the gods, which makes you immortal. But
yeah, and they do give it the other names and everything like
Yes.
that, like ambrosia, that kind of stuff.
yes, nectar. Yes.
Monster energy drink. Curiosity.
But every team they send into this forest doesn't come back. I was going to say comes back dead, and I was like, no, it doesn't even
just
come
doesn't
back
come
dead.
back.
But
They stay there. There's no ladders. It seems to be kind of it's like in this sort of basin as well. When you fall off a cliff and you're in this forest.
yeah, but it not only I did like the thing of the compasses obviously spinning wildly, but it's like, hey, did you lose all sense of direction like me just now? It's like, yep, I sure did. It's like, shit, I guess we're stuck.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Yes, they sent Agent Cooper into the forest and he hasn't returned. I was like, is that a Twin Peaks reference?
Well, you just keep calling him Coop all the time, even we see his like
yeah.
desiccated zombie body.
So yeah, the 3 heroes cannot get along with each other whatsoever, because they don't trust the guy from Trident because he sold the weapons, or the organizer. He's a mercenary. He makes it clear he's got the nickname the Returning Man. He goes on missions and he's the only one who comes back.
Yeah.
Probably because he pushes other fucking bodies in front of the bullets. He's pretty tough.
Yeah, he's a very capable agent in that he will return from the mission. That's his whole fucking thing. Even if everyone else in his squad is wiped out, which just makes them more suspicious of him, obviously. Yeah.
And
I feared for your one as well during this because that little bit where she runs and guns and throws a grenade is in the opening, and I was like, "Ooh, is that the only bit of animation they have for her?" Ooh, but no.
It's something she does a lot. That's like her go-to move.
Yeah,
it's just like one bum, grenade. Yeah.
It was just the thing she
You
does
don't
a
trust,
lot, so that's fine.
Don't trust her either because she's just a little fucking thief. She's fucking stabbing anybody in the back to get some riches.
Basically, the opening thing is he's entering a tomb, Indiana Jones style, and he looks at a fucking idol. He's like, "Oh, that's a fucking trap. If ever I fucking seen one in my life." And she swoops in, takes the idol, and yeah, it was a fucking trap. No shit. But it's a good thing she did take it, I guess.
Also, she's tiny because we know our lead is he's already small and she's smaller than him.
And then the mercenary guy is fucking huge.
He is, and he also has power armor. Well, he's got armor, but he's his power armor.
It's built for strength, not speed, so it's more heavily plated and everything. Yeah.
And the pair of them keep on wanting to fight each other and keep on having to be told off that there's more important things at hand than you two having a brawl.
Yeah.
Spooky forest, ghosts.
trees that'll eat you from the inside out.
Yeah, 3 zombies. They'll shamble around and try and get you. If they have guns, they know how to use them.
Yeah.
though. These are very smart
They
trees.
will go for their combat knives in a hand-to-hand situation. They're smart zombies. Flesh abominations. I guess that's the other thing that they have to worry about at one point.
Yeah, and it's the actual like fucking this fucking phantom skulls shooting around. Which one? Yu's got a new move. He just like if he thinks real hard, he can challenge all his psychic energy into his hand. And just start slapping ghosts. Slapping
The
right
lack
out
of
the air.
explanation on that, I loved, because it was just like, oh yeah, I can do psychic blast through my hand, and I was like, since when? Like, it's like, oh no, I've always been able to do that. It's just never come up until now.
For a more update, to discover this in some
Yeah.
ruins in Norway.
They were just fighting a psychic last episode, so I guess they've researched into psychic hand gestures. Yeah.
Maybe he's like Mega Man, and he does like he just takes time to
You
enter a
got
weapon
psychic
bit of
blast.
the last person.
Yeah.
I mean, he got that sweet knife right after he defeated a dude who had like the magic stuff on ancient sword as well. So it's like whoever he beats, he just like, okay, I need at least as good a knife as that, and think, oh, I need at least I could like a psychic power wave.
And he got the fucking wire after fighting the dude. Actually, before he fought the dude with the wire, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
But we didn't get and here's your tool 007 moment. I want kind of more of those.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah. They aren't doing any unpacking tricks though. Hoshino same she's got like she comes into there because they find a desiccated corpse of a monk in a little temple. It's like, here, I got this. And pulls out the beads and starts chanting the sutras, and she's in. The backstory on this thing.
And the monk is relaying the legend and just like, no, I'm not gonna help you. You guys are fucked. I'm here to make sure you're fucked, basically. And I do like the way she cuts him off at the end. It was like, whoa, let him finish as to where the exit is. It's like, no, you already told me. I'm fucking grand. It's fine.
I believe in the.
Only I need to know that.
I believe in the comic she's introduced in that very first mission we see in this anime.
The first mission, yeah.
Where,
okay.
Because it feels like they know each other already within this.
Yeah.
It's also very Uncharted-y. I would say even more than Tomb Raider, but that's in retrospect because Uncharted comes after this.
Yeah, you don't need a big lead up though. It's immediately apparent. Oh, so that's how these two know each other. And then at the end, it's just like, she's also like, her cover story of being the average like Japanese high school student who's actually fucking raiding like it's ancient sites around the world.
It's a universe where everything exists, where you have like every mythology, all of it happened. You have werewolves, absolutely, ghosts for real. High school students who actually are part of shadowy organizations. Yeah, that's their cover story. Everything is on the table here.
Yeah, she seems to go to like a very posh private school compared to because he just doesn't show up to school. She is pretending to be sick constantly.
Her thing constantly was like, oh, you're not going to protect an innocent maiden like me during the mission. It kind of makes more sense at the end where she's like, he pulls up on a motorbike. He's like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, I'm pretending I'm fucking ill. That's why I get off school so much. What the fuck, dude? And obviously all the other girls like, that's her boyfriend. Just from the way they react. Yeah, it's good.
Atsuki he's also a CG man in a world of 2D people.
He's a big bulky guy, so it kind of works for him.
I was just wondering if everybody who has these power armors are going to be CG.
But Fat Man wasn't CG, was he?
No, he wasn't. No.
The Russian dude with the knives, yeah, he was fine. And like, and Hoshino, she's just fucking doing combat roles and throwing grenades around. She's getting some good moves. So isn't that dead having got people who can do this? It's like, well, we gotta do this within a certain time frame, so we got to share this around. And as well, like I think they again are using the CG for what it can do rather than making try and ape something else. They're trying a little bit, but I think they know where to deploy that a bit better rather than just have and just to try and make some effort to make it slot in with everything else.
If they have a CG model of a special forces guy wearing the Sam Fisher goggles kind of thing, and they can just copy paste that guy a few times to have a couple of zombies. That's perfect. Yeah.
They're just dead. We don't care about them. But when the main dudes, there moving, and it's also just well choreographed as well for a start. That's like already an eye for the action in to begin with, so this all feeds together much better than some other approaches we've seen.
And the other thing I enjoyed about this episode, it's 100% the horror movie premise, but none of the characters are acting like it's a horror movie, which is really funny.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck, this sucks.
When they use her powers to contact the Buddhist monk who has mummified himself to protect the soba recipe, and then Atsuki's like,
it's nearly spooky. They're in a seance. It's getting pretty spooky.
But Atsuki is like, "Hey, Baldy, tell us how to get rid of this."
Well, when you see the fucking Noah's Ark rise into the sky and attempt to like destroy the entire planet, and it's the Noah's Ark, the biblical one, and you saw like fucking time frozen dinosaurs inside that. This is pedestrian.
Yeah, it's not. This isn't gonna phase you. It's just like, all right, we're in fucking hell forest. Guess we gotta figure our way out. Yeah.
Simple solution: you go find the biggest, evilest tree that's in there, because that's where the spirit of the ancient king or god's imprisoned. He was separated from his lover, and that's why his hatred fills the place and turns everybody into zombies. No one gets out. No, just gotta blow up that tree then, or just reunite these two little statuettes together and I'll break the curse and body spirits
and blow up the tree.
And blow up the tree as well. You got to. I mean, we have all these grenades. I mean, you can't not do it now.
And smash the recipe to say. Because can't let anybody.
But I took the pictures on my smartphone. Didn't count on that ancient civilization.
Modern civilization is that the one plant you need as the basis of the recipe is long extinct, and so immortality is lost. Which I
think he says thanks to global warming or something. Thanks to climate change.
Yeah, the initial climate change after they
yes. Thanks, climate change. You saved us all.
See, it's continuity. You see, from the Noah's Ark thing, it had this knock-on effect. It's just one set us forward into climate disaster.
I think it's referred to as the climate change, not. I don't think it's referring to the current ongoing climate change, but the
right. Okay, fair enough.
Ones which have happened to previous
it was thousands of years.
Yes.
Yeah, but that was still, a known quantity in the 90s. So.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm saying that plant has not gone out. It has not disappeared recently. It's disappeared millennia ago.
I was looking forward to this one because this is like uncharted territory for me. So it lived on that one. And I was glad I see this handle this cast thing as well, and it's thrown this one doubt in your mind as well, because it's been hammering home on I'm an IU, you're too naive for this job, it's going to fly back into place one day. And it's just like, well, who's to say that the people you're working for aren't like talking on both sides of their face, that naivete is making you blind to that kind of shit, and everyone's saying it. I mean, even Hoshino is like, she's isn't just like your man who's like, the hardened veteran. Like, she's just like the same cover story he has, and she can see it too. She's a bit more cutthroat in her dealings.
But at the same time, the guy he's working deliberately for, Yamamoto, directly for rather, his initial thing is basically go in there, say you can't find it, come straight back out again.
Yeah, I mean, like his direct boss seems to be is just like, listen, dude, that forest is super fucking haunted. Just say, I couldn't see it, so it's probably not there. Just get out of there, all right? This is a shit mission. It's a bad job.
Like Arkham have sent in dudes before, and
he's basically been sent in to find the team that tried to find the team that tried to find the team at this stage. Yes. Yeah.
They don't care. Yeah. So they're not like this. Like, they haven't got any moral high ground here. They're as probably nefarious and devious as any of the other like operators we have in this sphere.
For sure. Like his direct handler is kind of in his favor, but your man's kind of thing of like, we're not so different, you and I. It's like, he's not fucking wrong. I mean, like you are going around looking for these weapons
because he also but when you says, oh, what if I catch on to that, I'll just smash them with my bare hands, and then you get and then Akatsuki's like, yeah, I'm a little too tired to fight you right now. But we know from for what he said previously in the episode is he's not on board with giving people immortality, because that would take the edge off being a mercenary if everyone just lived forever.
It's like he's had the most fun he's had in a long time coming into a spooky forest and murdering his comrades.
Always hated that guy. Slash.
So I assume they will clash again, but I'm going to guess that eventually they will find themselves frequently aligned on the same sides when worse things appear that they have to deal with.
Because I mean, like even in this, like he's a part of a conglomerate of fucking weapons dealers. He's the exact opposite of the guy, and it's just like, yeah, let's work together. I mean, it's a bit of I don't want to work with you. You seem super untrustworthy. It's like Spooky Forest, though.
They have to be told by the little girl that they've got to work together, even after she told them not to work together immediately.
She's the most lying, backstabby one in this, and she's right. You should listen to her.
Yeah, she's good though. She's fun. There's someone like that, you know. Like it's like, as well. She helps as well. Like the sword that because she's not aligned with like any of these like outfits or actually she's just here for the money.
She'll work for anyone if it benefits her. Yeah.
Well,
and she's just fun. I like her.
I think
she's putting
she's
away.
She's going to auction the stuff off that she nicks. Essentially, seems to be what her plan is, at least from this episode. Then we've got Bastard, Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy, Episode 4, Invasion, in which the horniness knob is turned up.
Does it go any further than that? I mean, they're going to fucking try to find out.
I did check the comic. It's hornier than the comic is.
Parental warning: mature situations.
So this is kind of approaching this. You're now getting a chance to see where I think Birdie Wing is always about to go at any point.
But if it holds back on that, it still stays funny. It doesn't get skeevy. I can laugh, and I don't feel the need to look behind me to make sure nobody's fucking watching me watch this. So,
it's about the tension as well. You know, the tension you can just like it's in there. It heightens. It is patient. It's part of the experience.
I'm uncomfortable watching this.
It's kind of very like the fun. It's starting to get serious now. We're not about doing this kind of thing. But it's still trying to be so. It's very juvenile as well. It's a juvenile idea of what, like, you know, a sexy kind of threatening fantasy is. We gotta put all these slugs in the pit with you, and you're going to eat me alive. You're going to eat all your clothes off. Oh, that doesn't seem so bad. But no. Oh, they're getting to the first layer, boys. And that's it. You know, they don't like, you know, suck your blood or anything like that. This is our torture. This is how we're going to make you like squeal.
He has trained a slime to eat ladies' clothes because he's a creep. He's an uber creep.
He is. But he's really excited to see his old boyfriend. That's also the vibe you get of him expecting to see Dark Schneider. Dark Schneider has come along with Princess Sheila and her knights.
The other half of the horniness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're like, we haven't been attacked by ninjas yet. What are they doing? How are we going to get into the ninja castle? And then Princess Sheila suggests, why don't we just go through that gate? And they're like, oh, Princess Sheila, we can't go through that gate. We expected
That's
us
the
to
front
go
door.
Through
That's where you would go through. The ninjas have decided, no, they're coming, but have decided, let's leave them to it because my place is booby trapped anyway. It'll be funny to see if they can get through it.
They attack them briefly because that's when Princess Sheila swings a sword and hits one of the knights.
They get attacked on the way to the ninja castle by random ninjas, I guess. Yeah.
Random ninjas. Because the ninjas, Gara's ninjas seem unduly keen to fight Dark Schneider that Gara has to stop them running off and fighting them. And then Schneider's finding this all hilarious, tells her to put the sword down, take your armor off. And then I'm going to blow up that gate. And then Princess Sheila says, do you think those ninjas heard us destroying the gates?
As we know, ninjas have very dull senses.
It's the hood. You can't hear jack shit. Yeah, no peripheral vision as well.
And that's when Gara's ninjas want to go and fight Dark Schneider. He's like, no, let's see how they do in the maze of death, because this is very much Dungeons & Dragons, because they point out that he's got a magic missile spell. And also we point Dark Schneider
God, they talk about the mechanics of magic missile, and I was just like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and he points out later on that I am the man who can retain the most amount of spells per day in his head.
Yeah.
It's so virile.
Now, yes, because it's not just because it is D&D, but it's also it's all but it's reverse. I don't know if it's deliberate or if it's happened to accidentally reverse engineer it. It's Jack Vance's Dying Earth as well, isn't it? Because that's so the spell system
Yeah.
Oh
for D&D
yeah,
is
I
nicked
suppose it
from
would
that,
be.
and that's a fantasy world which takes place after human civilization.
A magic apocalypse.
Long
Yeah.
after. Yes. Huh. How about
I
that?
no idea if it's deliberate or just an accidental reverse engineering.
In this case, I feel like it's a direct fucking
Yes,
reference kind of
yeah.
thing. Because I mean, like they randomly a wall breaks down and there's a
It's
minotaur
super
behind it.
cheap.
They're like, oh shit, a minute. Like, what was it doing living behind that wall, guarding one ladder that goes up? It's a dungeon. It doesn't need
waiting
to
all
make
his
sense.
life.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yes.
It's knowing nothing but the inside of these four walls and it's finally finally free.
And then Schneider's like, okay, guys, you fight the Minotaur. Well, we'll take care of the ladder.
Yeah, the big brave knights who, you know, the pride of the kingdom couldn't do it, could they? Yes, we fucking could. Let's
Yeah,
get
that
it,
bit of
boys.
reverse psychology was pretty funny. And obviously, the second half of the horniness is that Sheila doesn't want to go up the ladder before him because she's basically wearing her underpants because she has to take her armor off. So he decides to, on his shoulders, princess carrier, which she's getting off to the entire
Yeah,
time.
throws her over the shoulder. Yeah. And also, you take a phone. Don't need to phone. Calm down there. It's just fun, kind of nibbling her legs and kind of because I said, all right, just. But then if she's into that as well, you know, it's again, you feel like you can't walk in on something you shouldn't have. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know there was somebody in here. I'll leave you two alone. Jesus.
But
nice kids.
But
nice
obviously,
kids.
you know, a beholder doesn't give a fuck. Beholder likes to watch. So actually, no, it has a specific name.
It does.
Yeah.
The name is a pun on the apology they had to make to TSR for putting a beholder in the comic in the first place.
That's very funny. Dear.
Please don't sue us, man.
They made him different because he has muscly arms and legs.
Yes.
That's new guy, completely different. Yeah.
Well, it's like what. Yeah.
Which is an idea.
Well, that's what every fantasy role-playing game, which isn't D&D, they've all got their own version of the beholder. So Dragon's Dogma doesn't have it has mouths where the eyes should be, but the eyes are inside the mouths.
Yeah.
I think that's how they get away with it in
Right,
that one.
right.
Call this a looker at her. Yeah. Even in Dragon Quest board game and now TV series, they've had their little like multi-eyed things hanging around the corner.
Eyes are weird and they make good monsters. So yeah.
Yes, please see also Bloodborne. Lots of eyeball trauma in there.
Eyeballs on the inside too.
So they defeat that a lot quicker than they appeared to do in the comic, and then he's only got 2 spells left.
So tired.
Need a rest, and then Princess Sheila's goes, oh look, someone's left a sword around. Let me pick it up.
How convenient.
No. Oh, she hasn't played this game at all. It's like there's a dude who brought his girlfriend around to the session. She just fucking waited.
No, she hit one of her own knights earlier by taking out a sword, and by taking this very clearly fucking cursed sword that's been left out because it's cursed. She wounds him with the heavily poisoned blade, and obviously then it gets horny again.
Yeah, and also it's got a fire god inside of it.
I mean, the fire god, it's not a djinn, it's
a
Ifrit.
Ifrit. Apparently the one demon that Dark Schneider did not want to see.
I think because he's an explosion demon and he does mostly explosion magic, which is just like, that's not good for me.
Or they've met before.
Owes him money.
Owes him money, as you said.
Yeah.
Because they do point out how old he is, Agara does. He's like, go on, guess how many women Dark Schneider's been with?
10?
Dude, why are you so obsessed with that?
That's
the bit weird.
Between that bit and his excitement, the Dark Schneider, I was like, I don't think it's really Yoko you're interested in here, Gara.
1,000 women, 0 men. I'm gonna be
dear.
Yeah, 300 apparently, and most of them are dead except for one, and she still looks as beautiful as she did the day they met, and she's also one of the 4 Dark Lords of the Dark Rebellion.
The old priest? Oh wait, no, it's obviously yes.
It's the person in the armor who we've not seen outside of the armor. Yes,
in the bikini armor.
I think she's wearing full armor at the moment that we've seen.
There's also things where like so I'm going like really speed up now and oh my god, take off my kind of just cut off bits right there so you can reveal as much as possible without showing you the goods.
Yeah.
I mean, like this show does like try and like this episode does try and do like show the bare minimum, but Dark Schneider barely like hanging out of his own fucking clothes is like, come on, princess, you gotta suck it out. I'm just like, fucking show, fucking stop it right now.
See, I find it very funny.
Yeah, I mean, like
it's comically horny at this point.
Yeah,
and
it
some
is
of it works,
farcically.
some of it doesn't. The slime stuff is greatly extended from what the comic is.
That's horny animators.
Yeah,
I'm gonna blame them for that. Yeah.
And the slimes all have this like jellyfish like pulsating core, so when they settle over her front, it's like, oh, it looks like where her nips would be.
That's entirely original to the anime. The slime's eyeballs. Yeah, horny animators. But like I say, it is the writer of Birdie Wing doing the adaptation, and he can be a horny man. Which is why I'm always expecting Birdie Wing to explode into horniness.
I mean, like, I don't know the order of it, but how we're watching it, obviously, maybe Birdie Wing was like, hold him back, hold him back, hold him back. Okay, he's doing bastard now. Let him go.
Yeah, I suspect.
Well, that's because of Birdie Wing did actual like golf experts, overseeing the play of the thing, So outside of the fucking the go 13 golf shots, it was all about fun. Practical fun. So we couldn't do all that with them.
He wrote Pokemon for a decade plus, I think. So he has to hold himself.
Pokemon's weirdly horny at times,
but he has to hold himself back most of the time with most of the things he's writing. So
except for the episode where he gave James, or whatever it's called in Japanese, a nice big pair of hooters. It was a disguise, you see.
Sure.
He was really enjoying that.
Yes, the other major one he does at the moment. Oh, My Hero Academia. That's the other major thing.
That show is also horny sometimes. So
it is, and it feels hornier in the anime version than it is in the comic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, that was Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy. It was I knew it was always going to be horny, but this was surprisingly horny.
I mean, like the opening and the ending show you that this is going to be horny at some point, and now it's going to be horny. Yeah.
You might see a boob in this. Yep.
Then we got Yurei Deco, episode 3, a sham trial, in which Hack has been arrested and interrogated, which is a hilarious scene where they go through this very long, serious interrogation. He's refusing to answer any questions. So
you're not gonna give up, huh? Well, we got footage of you here. We got this. We got everything down on you. All right, bring him back to the cell.
And then he's like, "What a nice nap." And he wakes up.
That's why you grow the bangs out, man, so you can sleep when nobody's looking.
Meanwhile, Finn is trying to figure out who Berry is, what she is in relation to Hack, and Pup is also the robot has to be translated via Finn, and Finn explains that they're a ghost. They're people. Ghosts are people who have been deleted from the systems, so they can't be seen by people who've got the Decos.
Since the robot was given a name, I was wondering if they're going to introduce a Force character called L, because then that'll be Pup L Berry Finn, and they could just leave out Hack.
I think Hack is essential to this.
Let's let him rot in prison. Yeah, we don't need him no more.
And they get information from the Queen of Gossip, Madame 44, as to the location of Hack, and then they plot a way in which to break him out with the assistance of Hank, who definitely isn't Jimi Hendrix.
What? No way.
Nope, he didn't die in this turn underground revolutionary.
He has his own musical cue that definitely doesn't make you think that he's based on Jimi Hendrix.
He just shows up with like a little private server for them to look at this information Hack has gotten on. What's it called? Zero something Zero.
Phantom Zero. Yes, they're trying to pin Phantom Zero on Hack.
Because you were there when it fucking went down. We footage of you next to like 0 likes. So that must have been you then.
So they said
because you literally did steal a guy's bunch of his likes.
Berry into the trial, disguised as a human rights lawyer, and this was the point I realized: is this a magical girl show? but the amazing transformations are so far have been her dad and a human rights lawyer.
I mean, I guess everyone can do that
Hello.
with the Deco.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah. Wasn't there like wasn't like Tom Sawyer put in trial in the book, or was he in a trial?
Yes.
I know that
that
the
was.
pair of them are thought to be dead at some point, which is, I assume, what is happening at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
they're definitely
For
that
sure.
bit. Yeah, I thought it's like they're escaping, and then when you go to the tunnel, and then the truck they're riding on explodes. Couldn't be
I
that.
assume it's going to be that, but then they won't get to do the hanging out at your own funeral scene. But it's a way to. It's definitely a reference of like, yeah, we faked our own deaths.
They'll watch the live stream of the funeral.
Yeah,
you know,
probably.
from safe fighting. Yeah. Nice use of like a Google Street View to actually, you know, if one you could always use to go back in time to the time and place of the thing. You know, I suppose this is like that's where Barry shows her worth of the thing, because they're initially kind of a bit mistrustful.
And Finn's kind of like, he just probably dropped information with you because it was convenient. You're not his friend or his ally in any way. But then Finn's kind of saying, actually, no, you're not bad at this. Okay, you got some skills.
No, so we need someone that actually a bit handy with kind of thing that actually can actually go around and use it. She's kind of showing like her usefulness there, and also just brazenly just bursting into the courtroom like, "Hello, I am a human rights lawyer. I find these charges are quite outrageous. My client is, if you see this video, completely innocent. It's a naturally occurring phenomena."
But yeah, every time she like gets carried away with the character, the disguise starts to flicker. But then there's
She gets too exuberant. Yeah.
Bigger problem in that Phantom Zero shows up and breaks the prosecution lawyer, who turns out to be a robot.
Well, I guess he could have been a robot, or he could have been like a guy who was working from home through a robot, projecting himself over a robot. We don't fucking know, but yeah, it's a robot, and also Phantom Zero is in the court, and oh shit, we need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I think spasming out was really cool. People looking really cool, just going.
Oh, the noises it made were fantastic. Yeah.
It was great. No, it is like you probably had an appliance or some kind of computer thing go fucking crazy, and the unearthly screeching and rumbling it might make. I think they got a good ear for that kind of thing here.
Yeah, this was my favorite episode so far, both in the story and also the animation. In fact, I'm just gonna see.
Yeah, it has a bunch of really good sequences.
What I really liked is that Barry Wall is like clearly like much shorter than Finn, but because of like the way she moves, she seems more gangly than Finn is, and Finn's like always moves very elegantly.
Elegance, and there's a grace to the movement. Whereas her thing, like when he puts her in his little server of the virtual reality, I keep forgetting what they call it. She starts doing like some jumps and flips and stuff, and it sticks to like a 2D side-scrolling thing. She's a platforming character. She's like wildly bouncy and jumpy and gangly. Yeah.
Well, they enabled the God mode in Hyperverse, so you can just kind of fly around, but she has no. But the physics are turned off, so she keeps bouncing off stuff. Oh shit! Debug! Oh shit!
Yeah, so it's like the character is like baked into the character design. I assume the Setai sheets must have like loads of this is how they're supposed to move in these particular ways to get that across. So I'll just see anybody.
Yeah, it's the big jumper as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. She be wearing like little dungarees. Obviously from the opening, but no, it's kind of the big jumper. It's like it's the way it kind of look kind of fun as it kind of move it around in amusing ways.
Yeah, it makes her kind of more bouncy, like a Mario or something like that. Yeah.
She feels like a little kind of a furry ball almost. A little super ball. You can bounce off and stuff. Yeah.
It's a hugely enjoyable show. It constantly does the things of like reminding you of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, but without being a straight adaptation.
Yeah, obviously the disparity here isn't about enslaved people. It's more so about people who aren't on the system. They're not. What's the term they use for them? The Finn mentions it.
Yeah.
Well, they're
Ghosts.
ghosts,
That's the
or
term. I couldn't think of
or I might call it a
Yes.
Yurei. Yes.
But you don't have the same kind of. I mean, like even the lawyers or policemen or whatever the hell they are. We're saying to hack is just like, yeah, you don't have the same rights as someone who is on the system. That kind of fucking thing. So there is a underclass of people that is social disparity, and still there's no crime on this island. No siree.
Yeah, except for anybody who, we could put a lot of things in there, like the plight of immigrants and refugees.
Yeah,
it's kind of dumped out, but they have no access to nothing. Yeah. And even like the people who live there and are jacked in, they are trapped themselves in their
Yeah,
own
they're
system,
stuck within a system that is outside of their control.
Just even last week when you have like the content police fun chasing you down. They gotta put like goggles on over their goggles to see what their fucking natural eyes would see.
Yeah.
Whereas you can't get this shit out. But if you just took it off, it wouldn't be obfuscating your viewing. But you gotta fucking put your 3D shades over your 3D shades to fucking see those basic fucking shit. And the fun travel that just kind of gets fun used against them, and like that's the kind of thing. This system is great until it gets used against you because you don't slot into it.
So yeah, one of the animation directors on this one was Nayuki. It's the character designer of the Rage of Bahamut. Nayuki Onda. Yeah, it's one of the animation directors on this.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, the director and storyboard artists, I couldn't see them. I guess from searching their names, I assume Doraemon, Naruto, and Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken is what they've worked on, because that's what a Google image search returns. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. Really enjoying the show. It's like it's good that it doesn't feel like Science Saru are relying on Yuasa, because they can't, because he said I'm slowing down.
Yeah, but that's grand, because they're doing good in their job. There's fostering the talent there, and he's stepping to one side and just letting them come into the front row. And to keep the spirit of the place alive, but they're going to like take it in their own directions, and that's great. We need more of that kind of thing out there.
Wait for whatever Tatami Time Machine Blues, because looks like Disney are never in a rush to subtitle. There's a show which apparently it's on New Zealand Disney Plus now. There was another show which started in April in Japan. I don't know why it isn't in other parts of the world. Yeah, anyway, it's I don't know what's going on with Disney and anime. Maybe it will all drop in that first week of September, or start dropping in the first week of September, or wherever it is.
When they have a gap of their own content,
They may be able to just cool off on the idea like Amazon did.
It's a little confusing as to what's going on there, because I'm assuming the New Zealand one might have English subtitles on. I'm not talking about Tatami. I can't remember the thing. It's one of the April shows. It was one people were looking forward to, and I can't remember the title of it. I was like, surely the New Zealand one would have English subtitles. In which case, why can't that be in other regions with English subtitles?
Different dialect, you won't get it. Just localized differently. All these references.
Could be.
Completely intelligible, unintelligible.
Yeah, I wonder whether there's because obviously Disney Plus here is better than Disney Plus in America and things like that. So once again, that weird sound again.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's me or either of you, or whether it even is on the recording. It may be an entirely phantom noise that nobody will be hearing when they listen to the podcast.
Glitch in the Deco.
Because so I don't know what weird rights issues there are, but you think they'd be fine on something brand new. Anyway, then we've got talking of things with weird release schedules, Uncle from Another World, episode 1. I'm finally back from the
Yeah.
fantasy world of Granbahamal after 17 long years. So this started like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. They're on episode 3 in Japan.
Yes.
On Netflix, on Netflix Japan, it's got English subtitles. I was thinking, oh, they're leaving it 2 weeks because they want to dub it. So it shows up 2 weeks later. No, no dub. So why? Now it may come in
Very
handy because
strange.
they're going to have to miss a week because everybody's caught COVID who's working on it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
We wish them well. Speedy recovery
Mm.
and not too much impact on their livelihoods.
Oh, fine.
And the plot of Uncle from Another World is the Uncle from Another World is finally back from the fantasy world of Granbahamal after 17 long years. But for his nephew, he's been in a coma for 17 long years, where apparently his sister, the nephew's mother, has just disowned him while he's in a coma.
There was a big scrap in the
Yes.
family. Like it divided up the families. Like, what do we do about
Who
son
takes
slash
care of
brother?
this?
Exactly. Yeah. And cause them.
Who's on the hook for paying for this?
I imagine like some medical
nephews are-
bill stuff. Yeah.
The nephew's right there, ready to handle everyone, saying, "Well, now you're out of your coma. You gotta take care of yourself."
Like he's visiting him in
So-
the hospital for the first time in the guy's been awake in 17 years, and he has like, here's how to apply for a fucking job, which you need to do now in bed.
Whereas
While
but
you
the uncle is
recuperate.
explaining that he has been in a fantasy world. And this is after he starts talking to him in a language that he does not recognise. And yeah, the nephew is understandably doubtful about this, but thankfully it's not long into the episode when the uncle performs some magic, and then he's like, "Okay, let's forget the job."
He's trying to cast something at a cup of water, and it's not working. It's like, wait a minute,
Crackle!
I need to say the spell in Japanese because that's the language we
Donk.
speak here. That the magic language isn't going to work. It's like, okay.
Kaze! Ooh, there we go. There's some wind.
And is it the argument with the discussion of the family abandoning him that he casts his amnesia spell and writes it in his book?
No, the first thing that makes him cast the amnesia spell is when he asks the state of the console.
Oh, that was it. Yes.
Please, you gotta tell me. Did Sega win?
Sega's still fucking hit after hit, right? Fucking amazing console after amazing console, right?
Well, good news. They made Shenmue 2 and 3. Oh, thank goodness. But the Dreamcast no longer exists.
Yes. So this is where we learn early on that he has this little moleskin notebook where he writes things that he wants to forget, and then he casts a spell to make him forget them. The nephew looks in this book.
It's like the opposite of like a quest book in a video game. It's just like the opposite of quest book. I will never remember that Sega is fucking dead, basically.
And the nephew looks in this book, and he is truly horrified about what he's seen. And this is the prelude to apparently the terrible life that the uncle has led in the fantasy world of Granbahamal.
He had 17 years to be the hero of a whole fucking magical world, and he fucked it up, basically.
Well, I don't think it's entirely his fault.
No,
yeah.
It's not all his fault. It's just also he was
a weirdo before he went
underplaying everything that goes on. Yeah, I ran into some trouble there, but because I looked at my face. But sure, it all worked out fine. And then it's just like flash images of like him being put in chains, fun he's been threatened with knives.
They thought I was some kind of half-orc, but I managed to get away each time. So it's like,
sure, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just fucking beaten, starved, fun any kind of. He's going to be burned at the stake for witchcraft in our village. It's like,
and it's great because obviously it's an anime, but he was thought to be a half human, half orc monster hybrid or something, because he looks like a guy. He doesn't look like an anime protagonist, whereas everyone in the video game looks like an anime protagonist. Is the problem?
Character designs by famous manga artists.
They're all young and beautiful and hot, and he's just a guy. He's just like a skinny fucking guy.
Uncle, did you ever meet women over there? Yeah, there were a few. There was this one lady, and then this woman, she's like shielding her 2 younger siblings, from the evil fucking orc who's just been saved from a monster. It's just fun saying, it's okay.
Oh yeah, after the uncle
she just started coming on to me because she wanted to go out or something like that one day. No, she's just trying to like sacrifice her life to save her save her younger
But
brothers.
this is after the uncle is like, it'd be easier to explain to you if I just replayed my memories. I can replay my memories. And he casts a spell for replaying his memories. And
just the eyes go dead, and she's like, "Don't put your."
The
hand
sad
into his,
music playing, the filter
and then
changes on the camera of his
kids are
fucking
going,
eyes.
Yes, because before
Yeah,
we see
yeah,
that, though, he
and-
mentions that there was one woman who would follow him around all the time, insulting him, until he finally managed to
But he
shake
managed
her
to
off.
lose her in some town. Yeah.
And then we finally see her, and he's like, "Oh no, he fell into a coma in the year 2000. He'd only waited to 2004, he would have understood the Sunder trope,
Sundara,
and therefore he'd
yeah.
understand that she was in love with him."
She was mad about you, dude. Also, you basically proposed to her by
Yes.
accident.
As we do see as well. But the other parts are them using his magical powers to make YouTube videos, and then also to
Yeah, the nephew's figured out. It's like, oh, you don't need. He's as soon as he sees the uncle levitate water, he's just like, I'm tearing up this fucking job application. We're going to fucking YouTube, and that's where we're going to get this shit monetized.
we could just game eBay because people make money for jacking up the delivery prices. But if you just fucking use a zoom spell and just fly right there, you can just fucking just get it there for a $5 and just zoom back.
There's so many very minor jokes packed in this. It's fantastic. Like the YouTube video, and then the uncle going like, "Wow, this is great! Fucking, I'm connected to the whole world through the internet. This is pretty cool." And then seeing the comment section, it's like, "No, don't go to the comment section."
It's all done on After Effects. So fucking fake.
And he's like, "What? It was real magic."
Fucking bullshit.
That he wants a cool. He doesn't want a flip phone, which is what I want. He wants the swivel phone. It's like, ooh, pretty cool, right, nephew? And it's like, no, uncle, that's 2G. We're a few G's past that now.
He wants that. He's wasn't that hand. Was it a handheld game console? You could twist it around.
Yeah,
different configurations. Like, oh yeah, get me a Wonder Swan.
Get me an N-Gauge.
Yes, the question asking his uncle if he was ever fallen in love. Yes, I've been in love before I went to the magical world. I was in love. My first love were Sonic and Tails, and then we get this flashback to him just.
I used to stare at that department store window and the little animation of the opening of the game so many times. It's like, it was so
and
cute.
The opening is just a whole load of Sega game references.
Yep.
It's like you say, there's so many jokes, and they're very specific jokes, but the fact is the specificity is coming in all sorts of directions. It's the culture shock, it's the stuff in the magical world going terribly wrong for him, and it's the internet of 2017 jokes.
Yeah, and not understanding things like eBay, that you forgot to check the delivery charge before you hit the buy button, that kind of shit.
Yeah, catch it by magic. And they all kind of lead into one another, so they learn how to do things from one thing to another. He's got these magic rings which are worth loads and loads of money in the fantasy world, but he took them to the pawn shop and they're worth 50 yen here.
Because the material isn't recognized. Mermaid's tears calcified into metal isn't really recognized as a thing, so they just think it's plastic or something.
I do have this magic sword that he pulls out his chest.
I think it's the nephew asking him for a box to open an Amazon package, and he just pulls a sword out of his pocket space.
Careful now, this thing is cursed.
Yeah.
I did appreciate them figuring out. It's like, oh, I'll just put that sword back. He's like, yeah, let me open up my pocket space. They stab it. Nephew stabs it into him. They're both like, oh, that's our next fucking video.
And the animation is generally dull, but occasionally bursts into life, which is quite effective.
There's usually just like someone's harrowed face but it's just another fucking sordid detail of his past.
Or his expression will change dramatically from his generally passive look to something else. It was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
It's so the humor though.
This could have been so fucking depressing very easily, but that's the kind of humor
it is bleak.
For.
It is the hints of the things which have happened to him in this fantasy world. Just in this first episode, seem appalling. How many? I think he mentions how many things he's had to wipe from his memory, and it's a lot. Well over 10.
But I looked at things as well. It seems that he won't be the only one who comes back from that world.
Well, apparently nobody else has. People are asking that, and apparently so far in the comic, he's the only one who's come back from that world. I
Oh, okay.
believe
Okay.
what you think might have happened in the next episode is a different gag.
Okay.
Again, it's a YouTube-based gag.
Right. Zoom and
Yes.
pinch, zoom and enhance. You know.
Yep.
It's like apply like no. Oh, this is what touchscreen phone is like, and it's like oh, it works on my magic like memory screen as well.
I was wondering would
Try precise.
the kind of retroactive humor work as well, because obviously this is set in the far future of 2017.
It is
isn't
2017, yeah.
have the date
I
right.
think we move into
Yeah.
2018 quite quickly from what I've seen of screenshots.
Ah, okay.
Because there's jokes about YouTube's terms of services changing.
Jokes everyone can
Yeah.
enjoy. Yeah, sure.
It's a very online comic by the looks of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it looks like there's one other main character. Well, there's some other fantasy characters who are not met, but there's looks like there's a woman who is also a main character. And there's like hints of like somebody who he used to share this apartment with because the uncle's surprised that he's got the nephew's got such a large apartment. I don't know whether that's going to play into stories.
That's what led into the romantic talk, because it was kind of like, oh, did you live here with your girlfriend? It's like, no, it was an apartment share thing.
Yeah.
It's the normal thing. It's fine.
Wait, because he hadn't heard of that. Because apparently,
what
they'll have
happened.
to look that up on the internet to reveal that that wasn't a thing that happened in Japan very often in
God.
2000.
When he's looking up on his phone, it's like, oh, apartment sharing, that didn't come into play in that thing. And he's like, and Uncle's like, wow, fucking pocket dictionaries are so fast now. And it's just like, oh God.
Anyway, yeah, check it out. Uncle from Another World. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
If you put it on VPN, you might be able to watch a few more episodes than you can in America.
Who fucking knows? Yeah.
Then we got Chimimo, The Pits of Hell, and a Hellish Gift Murder Mystery. The first part, Mr. Hell decides to help out the oldest sister by pushing her boss into hell.
Well, also he needs to write a report for tomorrow morning. But if he could send a guy to hell for being a bastard, that would probably give him enough time. He's like, yeah, see, I'm doing it. I sent a bastard to hell.
Yes.
Perfect.
Just a bastard there, makes fucking inappropriate remarks, sexual harassment, stupid jokes, leaves people a lot of work, but just like on Friday evening.
It's all really mild but very annoying. Like he's like, whoa, you look hot today. He means it as a compliment. He's like, hey, have you got a boyfriend yet? He's not trying to ask you out. He's just being a skeevy old guy. And puns are his worst sin.
It says zero tact.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah.
It was always very good when you see him like helping out the lady with the baby in the buggy outside the shop. It's like, oh, okay, he can't be all that. And he's like, oh, yeah. And it's just his wife just had her first kid. It's like, oh, Jesus, fuck's sake.
Yeah, she gets talked down or convinces herself several times to not send the boss to hell, but then he does something else where she's like, yeah, let's get this fucker.
Let's nail this motherfucker.
And then she changes her mind and she ends up falling in the pit of hell. And we'd previously learned that also the idea of pushing people into the pits of hell, I believe, came from Tiny Tiger. Because that seems to be the recurring gag, it's the Chimimos who suggest. I'm hoping it's going to be like one episode a week. One half of the episode a week is going to be a plan that one of the Chimimos comes up with.
It is like, God, we don't forget. Oh, they're so cute, but they are like the minions of the abyss. If I'm just going me. Yeah, we should damn his soul for eternal damnation. Yeah.
And even they get into their summoning circle, they do their chants, and one of them just uses their horn to like poke a hole into hell, and they all just stretch it out and then move it around, a movable hole.
But yeah, when you fall in, you experience something you don't like over and over again, and when she falls in, she has to experience puns. But then the twist is that his boss had already pushed him into the pits of hell, and this entire episode was him experiencing a loop.
So he has to go to the hell morning commute. Yeah. He has to go through the hell of trying to convince someone to send someone to hell.
Yeah, what hangover and all is that fear and desperation of a deadline they're never going to meet.
So he's just a waking nightmare. He keeps waking up, getting the phone call from the boss. It's just like, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was very funny. Also, because of just like, I was not expecting them to go to pushing people into the pits of hell by episode 3 with these cute little creatures, and then to actually do it to one of the main characters.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, she used to just go take it out on the heavy bag. Just
Mm.
be okay by
And-
tomorrow. Well, forget about that. There's a
Yes.
murder afoot. What about hell? Murders. Just someone's trashed the room and eating the good French chocolates from my French friend who wears the beret and then the striped jumper.
And carries a
because
baguette and wears a necklace of garlic.
That was a coincidence, you know.
We went to a fancy dress party or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
so she was saving the chocolates for when she finished, like, I think it was like not her degree or something, but some big project or something.
This is Hazuki, the middle sister.
Yes.
Uh,
So it's up when she finished some big thing in our college. She was going to eat all these chocolates as a treat, and some bastard has come in and murdered her chocolates. So herself and initially the youngest sister has to try and solve the
May.
crime. I mean, like, May has to solve the crime because otherwise she'll be blamed for it.
We got culprits right here in the shed. Okay, I'm bringing all 13 of you in. Get inside. Tuck, where were you between the hours of midnight and 10 a.m.?
They were looking at cute pictures of goddesses from around the world.
Check it out, boys. I got me a skin bag. Statue of Liberty. Look at the gabs on that one. Oh, yeah. Venus de Milo. He's got no head, but I can work with that.
I mean, like, I kind of
Has
get
no
why
arms,
he's
I can work
doing
with
this
that.
as well, because, like, if he loses his job in hell, he's going to have to work for a different pantheon, and it pays to know where the fuck to go, right?
Then eventually,
So
they realize
me
one of
and
the Chimimos is
yeah.
missing. They must have done it. It is Mustache.
Hmm.
Where is Mustache? Where can you? Oh no, there's a few missing. They look for pink and blue pants.
They
as well,
go through
yeah.
the
Well,
other guys, and they all have
They've all got a couple of things.
yeah. The pants twins were playing on the
Yes.
slide too long.
Yeah,
That kind of thing.
Mustache is
Yeah.
the last one who then they find at a hostess bar, where the madam of the hostess bar believes that he is a cat and has been feeding him cat food.
Which for him, he's been going to a hostess bar, eating the fine treats on thing, and listening to a lady's woes. He's being a pure gentleman from his
Yes.
point of view.
Which is where we get the shot of him looking like a gentleman in a bar in the opening credits.
Hmm.
Whiskey gets up to the whiskey next week. You know,
Okay.
He's a regular there now.
Hmm.
So it can't have been him. Who could it have been? And it turns out she'd eaten her own chocolates all along.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
big sister
like,
comes
I-
in, not to be blamed, but to go like, "Oh yeah, you were on a mad bender last night." Because when they found one of the
You
sweet
were
wrappers in the
fucked.
tree, they were like, "That's obviously one of the Chimimos." It's like she was so drunk, she decided to eat the chocolates in the Eiffel Tower,
Yes.
which is the tree. Yeah, and she's kind of like remembering it. Well, she wasn't blackout drunk. She's like, "Oh yeah, I did get really fucked last night. I actually, crime
I
solved,
can't
I
remember
guess."
enjoying them. Oh.
Yeah,
Dear.
and then they all turn super demonic and sit on her.
Hmm.
Again, very funny. It's her just being a terrible lush is a good, funny character trait
Yeah.
for somebody with that cute design.
Yeah. That's what I'm enjoying about it is that it looks a very very merchandisable little characters here,
Yeah.
but it might have been pushed up a little bit in the subtitles, but it's like there that's like dropping the squares and everyone saying and it's fucking killing my boss, it's fucking get them after it was a bit an edge to all of them a bit.
It's definitely like cute mascot characters designed for an adult's worldview. Yeah.
Yeah. And I relate to the Hazuki, the middle sister. It's just like she's like the female version of me. Went to art college, I had the same jacket as her. Usually see him with a beer in her hand. It's all fitting. Eats chocolates at night when
You got blackout drunk and ate your special chocolate. Yeah.
I've done it a couple of times, but like putting the entire bag of potatoes, you name it. I've been there. I've had many a snack.
I'm reminding of what they were doing. There were some weird things those Chimimos were doing, and also disturbing things.
Yep.
Like Tiny Tiger was sharpening.
They are hellspawn.
Tiny Tiger was sharpening his scythe. Wings was sniffing your socks.
I feel
Yeah.
yeah, like weird kind of like that's don't know about that, but like these things are creatures from hell. They are gonna have some fucked up habits. So yeah.
Then we've got I'm KODAMA Kawashiri, the Dissolute Life of a Dangerous Lifehacker, episode 22. I came to Komeda Coffee.
That's the closest thing I can think of a title because Crunchyroll does not know.
Okay, yes. She goes to a restaurant, orders exactly the right food, but then they bring her bread with some of the courses.
Yeah, apparently the portions in this place are fucking off the chain. But so she comes out and it's like, okay, so if I have that and I have fucking that on the bread, and it's like that's fucking perfect. That's like a shitload of food. But then there's like a garlic side to that, and then there's another side to the other fucking bit of meal cheese, and she's like,
man.
shit.
I have the garlic.
So she's
You got to eat the whole
not
thing.
going to have
garlic,
enough room
Jerry.
for a sandwich because they keep on giving her extra bread. And then the second half, she goes shopping and she's brought her own shopping basket so that they just take the food out, all the things out of one shopping basket, put them in another shopping basket. She can walk home, everything's nice and neat. And she doesn't have to put it away, but then she needs to go shopping again. So she's going to have to empty the basket.
You got to empty the basket at some stage, yeah.
And also the basket is going neat, tidy.
It's very satisfying to have and to look at and to store your stuff, but it is a thing you need to take to the shops to put things in it. Yeah.
Oh, it's like Resident Evil 4 Adventures. You want to get all slotted in.
I've never considered that an option of buying my own shopping basket. I have to say, I don't know what.
Well, now you know that don't use this life hack with it, so
I mean,
you're
you
good.
can't buy them. You can buy 5 of them from Amazon for £25. That's quite expensive.
Just steal one from everybody else.
Sturdy shopping baskets for £21.99. I guess wicker people did wicker baskets, didn't they? That was a thing. You
Yeah,
don't see so
yeah.
much nowadays, but it's definitely a thing I vaguely remember with my lifetime being an old man now. And obviously, you might accidentally buy a toy one, in which case you end up with a tiny shopping basket and have to put tiny fake packages of food in it.
I know, like,
Size of a Lego man.
if you got like a decent arm strength, or you are just walking out to your car, a friend of mine went with the thing. I was like, you just grab one of the boxes off the fucking shelf and fill up your shit in that box, and then you take the fucking box out.
Yeah, you used to do that. All the time.
I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been before, like, you know, like maybe a shop like Lidl would have, like, usually have, I can know, the bin full of empty boxes.
Yeah.
Well, some of don't like your phone taking those. The phone saying, "Oh no, we need those." The phone saying, "What? Oh, but there might be it might be broken glass inside the phone." Saying they've come up with some excuse because I get taken the boxes because they're using this. Everyone saying, "No, you just go up and throw them out." And why leave them here out?
I'll throw it out for you.
It
It's
used
cool.
to be in the 80s and 90s. You get when you got to the checkout, there'd just be piles of boxes in the walkway going out that you could grab and use.
Yeah, like whenever you move house, the first place you go is supermarket, gets a couple of boxes. If you need some extra ones, I haven't got any, and you fill up your shit in those.
Yeah.
Wither the boxes, Tesco.
I
Where
know,
have you put the boxes?
Yeah, get on it.
Yeah, maybe people stopped using them, and they just ended up with piles and piles of boxes nobody was using sitting.
But then it's why you guys sitting at home, probably lots of boxes from your online deliveries, and there's all sign up there. And then what are you gonna do with these? I gotta hold on to the box. The boxes is like your warranty for the first year. Then you got wardrobe
have you been looking at my hallway, Niall? As I have to.
I'm looking at the button press I'm sitting in right now.
I have to walk around a large printer box because I haven't satisfactorily set up the printer yet that I feel like I can throw out the box. Right.
Yeah.
Then we got Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, episode 87, The Decisive Attack, in which a whole bunch of guys ask themselves, what is a raiment, and should we remove it?
Technically, what's the technical definition of a raiment? Because Crocodile's like Raymond. Oh shit! Actually, don't touch him.
I didn't figure Crocodile for a pedant of that degree, but here we are.
He might be in the right here. I think that's why it jogged his memory. But it opens with him just beating the shit out of Mistburn. Yeah.
There's more of that. It's very, very cathartic because he keeps fucking getting wild to the point saying, it's like, oh, my fucking real power, and all. If King Burr would let me from my real power, I'd read pipe and say, well, show us then, motherfucker. Come on, let's see it then.
Mistburn is like furiously texting King Burr to go like, it's like, fucking pick up, motherfucker.
Are you there?
Can I go 100% on this fucker?
Are you there? Where are you?
Sorry, no, I'm having some trouble up here, you know. This kid, you know, I'm going to try to psych him out again. Maybe that'll work again this time. It's like, oh, yes, you can probably beat me. You know, you pushed me pretty far. You know. that means, you know, I know you got me cornered now. It means I can try anything. You know that, right? Fun die. Don't let him get in your head. You want to get back in that hole, okay?
I appreciated him's just assuming everything's going to be fine, because when he like shatters one of his arms with a punch and then it's like, I was actually going to punch you with my left, you dumb fuck, and it's like, healing can probably heal my arm. It's just like, I don't know, I don't know the rules of healing in Dragon Quest, but I feel like growing back your arm isn't one, but you are technically like a metal slime, so I'm not exactly sure how this works.
T-1000, you know, let's all melt and reform back on.
Hopefully.
Well, he had fun holes busting in his head and everything else like before this, and you know, it seems okay now. So
Yeah,
probably fine.
Very, but also there's like a nice mirror of Mistvern can't get hold of Vern to get the permission, whereas Chiu, him's boss, is right there saying, "Go for it, him. You can do it.
Fucking get him." It's like, and he's saying as well, if this dude is found out to get me, and he's being totally funny. It's like fucking, it's that hair, that wild flowing locks. He's like Hadlar reborn. My T. I underestimated him.
It is great the way Chew keeps being a great boss to him, and that just makes him more so think is like, yeah, I am part of the Beast Army. Actually, he's that's how he gets people on board. He's just like he love bombs them basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Upstairs again, then, you know, Fun diving through Firebirds, you know, just to get the hit in, and he Fun gets a nice sweet cut there on Vern's shoulder. Blood sprays out. He's looking like pretty on the ropes here, pretty fucked up. He's still weirdly confident. What is his deal? He thinks he's got some fucking thing up his sleeve, and that's what fucking Misfern is. Misfern is the real fucking body, or he's the fucking backup body. You don't see his face because he's gonna have a fun third eye right here. He's gonna be like a young, sexy Vern underneath that. But saying, "Oh, I'm going to try and beat him. I've got like a resurrect here. I can probably get him again on the next go around." So I'm not too worried, but I'll try and conserve my resources here and punch him up good.
And also, Vern did put Die into a corner. I was like, okay, I'm going to do my thing where I can do 2 attacks at once, but one's going to be the Firebird, the other one's going to be me right behind the Firebird, ready to stab you. So Die correctly went, well, if I take the hit of the Firebird, that means then I can definitely hit you. But it still means you take the damage from a Firebird, so that's not
I'll
great.
take the one where I get to slap you in the face.
Yeah, that's the better option.
Faces,
yeah.
He's still pretty confident.
And then he tries the Aurora, wasn't it?
And Vern's like, that doesn't work.
It's like, you've already used that once today. Fucking, you're going to be out of MP. Haha. And then Leona with the cinches is like, fucking magic feather. It's like, fucking what? Yeah. Yep, give him back all his magic points, and he can do another one now. So Miss Vern, regular Vern, is kind of like, oh shit, I didn't realize he had a third one in him.
He goes.
So he bites it.
Things explode, and that's where we end up with the episode. Is
he's definitely dead.
And Hyunko
super dead, totally dead.
I probably should not take that cloak off. Let's leave that cloak on.
Him's like, I don't mind either way. I'll beat his ass right now, or I'll take his clothes off and beat his ass. It makes no difference.
It's like the end of a fucking luchador match, where it's like, you know, I'm going to unmask him. You know, we're gonna fucking do it. But say, no, do it, no, we're gonna do it. I'm totally gonna do it right now. I swear.
All the lads hanging around in the background, as in him and Miss Fern's fight, is really funny to me because they're all like, should we though?
I assume Miss Fern's going to do the thing without permission because he says, forgive me, Vern, at the end. While him's going, oh, bye, Miss Vern. Hope you rest in peace. Oh, man, I love him. He's. I'm trying to think of another show that's introduced such a great character right near the end of the series. Because we now know it's 100 episodes. They've announced it is 100.
Yeah, it's in our parameters. I think are very close to it. That's I think I said to be. I think it would be a nice round 100s, so they can say we can take 100 episodes out of this thing. If it's just
I mean, I'd say Yamato in One Piece, but I assume we're going to see Yamato for 5 years.
Another minimum 3 years. Yeah. I think that's a good example of a very exuberant, very violent character who is great fun.
Yes.
So
And then finally, talking of exuberant violent characters, Shine On, Bakumatsu Bad Boys, Episode 3, Disguise Yourself, Infiltrating the Red Light District, in which...
After watching Bastard, I was worried this was where the show gets horny for a second.
I
but
don't
no,
think this
not
show
nearly.
is going to get horny.
Hmm.
I think there'll be...
Nah.
Just the title, I was like,
I think
oh.
we might be getting some
Yeah.
sort of...
No, it's fine.
some sort of cross-dressing Romeo and Juliet romance possibly is going to happen between people on opposite sides.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like a hackneyed backstory of like, oh, she was fucking sexually assaulted, but she stabbed up the dude, and that was her path to fucking learning the blade.
Stabbed up multiple dudes, I believe.
Yeah, but they don't linger on too much, and I hope they don't fucking belabor the point. Oh, she's an interesting character because of this fact in her backstory.
It's of the genre that she's in, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, so they're sent to find Takayoshi Kido is the person they're trying to track down,
aka Katsura Kogoro.
Yeah, he's some guy who's he's trying to overthrow the shogunate. He's a spy of some kind. Is it? Or
yeah, he was like historically one of like the three main dudes who was pushing for the Meiji Restoration.
No, but I mean, like basically what they're told in the mission is like he's
yeah. But it's kind of it's an interesting data to referring to real people here of what was their actual like place within this period of history, and how they've done it up here. We've already had like a sort of a different version of another real person
real
in the last one
as well.
So
yeah,
two, yes, actually, who gets dispatched, before the fucking credits or anything, or not long after the credits.
Not a historical character, but I mean, like history says you're dead.
No,
so we can kill you here.
No, the opposite way around. They've broken history in that second episode. In history,
you're right.
The assassin succeeded in killing the guy with the glasses.
Well, I guess
in fact, that's the assassin.
They've proven that if a guy fucking dies too soon before they do a thing in history, we can just replace him with like a different guy and say that's the guy. And obviously, the photo they had of this historical dude was the one that they used for his historical profile. The actual photo of him.
But yeah, so she goes undercover to this brothel, and she's gone undercover as the geisha Ikumatsu, who's also a real person, and the lover of the aforementioned real person. Yes, but turns out he's the person we think is him is not him. That's another person in disguise. But he is there because he's also in disguise as another guy,
as another
geisha. Yes. Yeah, lots of people spying on each other in disguises.
It's pretty great. When we have our main pompadour boy in there, and I did appreciate the kind of thing is like, okay, so have you got any fucking have you got any information that we need to find this guy? And he's like, yeah, you'll never believe it, but the fishmonger's wife is cheating on him. And it's just like he has all the goss, but he has no good information. It's great.
All of the other like the fake Shinsei movies now, they're in town on patrol, they're fucking kicking down doors, and they're trying to smoke out anybody who might know about this, but that approach isn't working. So they just fuck off and do their own thing. And
yeah, and your man's kind of like, oh, you can't just fuck off and do their own thing, but by fucking off and doing their own thing, that's how they do. That's how they solve the problem.
You gotta play it cool. You gotta meet up with your contacts from your old gang. You gotta respond to a woman's advances by pointing out she's got syphilis, but like positive flip.
Yeah.
But all roads lead to the inn, which thankfully, like Ichiban Boshi said, that fun. Hey, there's fucking gonna be some fucking bloodshed here. Everybody out. So it's kicking off here in a minute.
So,
but they all find their way
in a weird way. Like in the prior episode, they were really badly working together or not working together in a big melee. But working separately, they've come to the same goal of achieving, like, catching this guy, of doing this thing that they want to do. And which is good, because that's when the guy's going like, all right, has everyone got their drinks in? All right, time to murder everyone in the fucking shop.
They've also got better equipment as well. We have now had the bayonets attached to the rifle. The fun priest, he's got this little bit of the blade he snapped off has been put into that into the pole, and it can plug it into like
got
a
a battery
very
on his back.
early battery, and just like zap people with.
He's got like a headphone jack that goes into his pole, but it works fine. So yeah.
It's probably not a very large charge, but enough to knock out somebody.
And then does it end with some swordsman about to attack?
Yeah, it was like the initial like big rowdy just making noises about we gotta fucking run out all these spies. Let's kill everybody at the end. Yeah, let's do it. So it's one way to be sure. But he has one of the cursed swords of the evil aura around us, and he gets dispatched in short order. It's like
he gets dispatched when he calls out our samurai in disguise as a geisha kind of thing.
Accurate.
Yeah, where he's like, a woman doesn't know anything about the blade, and she's like, motherfucker, I know the most about the blade of my whole fucking group of dudes with blades. So she does the war paint of other people's blood on her face, and
fucking armor hunter metal link. I got the face there.
And yeah, she gets her magical glowing sword to dispatch this motherfucker.
The glow on the sword is good. I'm not sure if I did the weird polygonal lotus flower comes up around her feet. It's
again, I think it's something like it's if you're fulfilling the duty that the original owner's spirit inhabiting the sword would have wanted, then you get this weird kind of special effect. Yeah, I'm not sure what way they're doing it.
I think it's suggestion that there are additional powers based on episode 2 because the masked man uses that to summon yokai.
Yeah.
Or gain yokai abilities.
So they haven't got the summon bit yet. They've got the glowy part right now. Yeah.
I think because there's a question of whether the people with the cursed swords are being controlled by the swords themselves. We forgot to mention last week the guy whose hair is the same shape as his hat. He didn't appear this week, so we'll have to bring it up when he next shows up. It's and then the guy who's a bit of it, who's a criminal in every single possible way, and our food stealing guy are about to be crept up on right at the end of the episode.
Yeah, they're passed out drunk after a long day's training as punishment for solving the crime of the day. But
Saki, the hitman, is nowhere to be found.
I did also like our crime collectors guy. He meets up, was like, "You son of a bitch," and then they do the cool guy handshake. I was just like, okay, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, they're a fun bunch of lads. Yeah, because our hero doesn't trust the hitman because he murdered his own dad. Even
my specific thing is I'm trying to avenge my family's murder, so murdering a dad is no for me.
We know how shitty a dad he was. He was protecting his mother to. But because he's so stoic, he's not going to make that explanation.
No.
We feel like, given that the other guy's mother went missing, that might be enough to temper his disapproval. But I suspect he doesn't care about his disapproval. So.
Yeah. Fucking remind when Saki will go hard as well when they get their spy. One. The other guys just fucking gets a guy down a bit. I'm gonna peel off all your fingernails until you can tell me what I need to know. And the video show you him jamming a knife under the fingernails as well. He's almost there. Just fingernail trauma is just don't like that either.
And the guy going like his boss going like, "What are you gonna do after peel off his fingernails?" "I'm gonna cut off his ears." And it's like, peel away. And the guy's like, "I'm a fucking spy. I'm a spy. Okay, Jesus. Okay, leave me alone."
The fact that the real Kido, not Kido, no, the other guy.
This would be like the Katsu.
That's it. Yeah.
Katsura Kogoro. Yeah.
Yeah. Takeyoshi Kido. Yes, they were both Kidos. The fact that he doesn't have a cursed sword makes me wonder if the cursed sword factions are something completely unrelated to the Meiji Restoration.
It's some sort of superpower plot happening around the same time, that kind of thing.
This lines up as well with the Ikijai incident, where a bunch of Shinjuku did rush into a place, an inn, geisha house in front to root out some spies, and that's also it's kind of I like one of the big busts that's got their name out in the street, and then they got an influx of recruits after that. Then as well. It's like, oh,
Oh, doesn't
it's cool to be a
Doesn't at one
samurai
point
cop.
he say, "Okay, you blue guy and red guy, you're teaming up," and your man's like, "I'm not teaming up with him. He killed his dad. I don't trust him." And the guy's like, "I'm gonna cut you down and replace you with a new guy right fucking now." And they're all like, "Nah, we're an established thing now. You can't do that because you'd have to kill all of us and then replace all of us again."
Yeah, also the dudes outside, they're in on this thing as well. You had to kill all of
Yeah.
them, or you like, oh, we got like, no, got 7 brand new dudes to head up your fucking samurai cop force.
Yeah, it kind of shows that they're kind of corrupt because they're like, "Yeah, we know you replaced everyone, but that's fine as long as you get shit done. We don't fucking care."
Yeah, so it's definitely 1864. The past 2 episodes, this episode and the previous episode, are both based on events
Okay.
from 1864.
Hmm.
So that's where we currently are, but they have already changed history. So therefore,
Well, there wasn't any superpowers in history as well, if I'm
that's
not
true.
mistaken.
As
That we
far
know
as
of.
we know, nothing was written down along those lines.
Ichiban Boshi, you can't do that.
And that's it for this week. Let me quickly check that nothing's creeping up on us. Oh my god, it's JoJo's. No.
Mamma
We're
mia.
also watching out for Ken and Conan's, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think I think
Conan
we're
canon.
on that. Starting Uncle from Another World. There was Zero's Tea Time. Talking of Conan, that should be starting on Netflix this week. And then following week, Futo PI. There was a good interview with.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Rika Sanjo and the producer of Kamen Rider Double, where they're discussing it, and there was one thing he made the point of, because the way they made Kamen Rider Double, they said, is they went through and they tried to pick out the things from the original Kamen Rider that they thought made Kamen Rider. And it was like, I think one of the key things was like, they've got the same powers as the villains and they switch sides from the villain side. But it was pointing out, like, the good thing when he was a kid watching Kamen Rider is that even if you weren't the one who got to play Kamen Rider, it was fun playing the villains in Kamen Rider are also fun for a kid to pretend to be. And I was like, that's why he's so good at doing the villains in Dragon Quest and his other
He's just been
tokusatsu
holding this
stuff
for years.
Yeah, it's
it's
something he realized as a kid.
Yeah, well, if that's it. Even like at a certain point, things like your giant robot cartoons, they had there'd be like usually the second in command of the bad guys. He would be like an honorable opponent to them, and he might turn over to their side maybe towards the end.
But like, that's the thing with writing like a good stable of bad guys. Well, it's not about making them sympathetic in the way that I want them to do a baby face. I want them to turn good at the end. It's you can still do that, but with 1 or 2 maybe. But you have to like them. You have to enjoy their struggles as well. Even though you never want to see what's your man's name? The weird little wizard man in Dragon Quest.
Oh,
Zaboera.
Zaboera.
Yes.
You never want Zaboera to win because he's a fucking little shit, but you get where he's coming from. Yes. It's just like, I understand why you fucking hate everyone who looks down on you, and you're just like, I'm gonna get my way because I'm a little shit. You're just like, I'm enjoying you being a little shit.
It's a dragon world out there. You do it too.
But yeah, if you're a little kid, you'd have fun playing pretending to be Hadlar or Mistvern.
If I was a little kid, I'd have fun playing Zaboera. It's just like, you didn't get me. I had a magic spell that prevented you from doing that because you're a little bastard.
Yeah.
Well, that was going to get you beaten up after school. You don't want
that. Zero's Tea Time, apparently. Let me just quick check the Detective Conan wiki, just in case they're sneaking something up on us. Season 30, which is never ending, apparently. No, we're good. This week it is The Detective Boys' Test of Courage, which is a TV original.
Okay.
Conan's hint, cat. So maybe they have to go stroke a cat or something. As their test of courage. I mean, what more tests of courage do they need at this point?
They've seen a lot of dead bodies as children.
They've been
so
kidnapped, held at
Decapitations,
gunpoint, all sorts of things.
They're just gonna fucking stand in front of a train and just jump away at the last second. So I can feel anything anymore, man. I'm just numb. I'm just numb.
Maybe that's the final chapter that he's already drawn. Is going to be like a flash forward chapter, so we see how damaged all these people are.
Oh, but everyone's like aged forward, but then like, he's just there, like, you know, just like wearing a trench coat, smoking a cigarette, but he's still fucking tiny little man. Well, we get here, another rape and murder case. See it every day.
That's it for this week. We're back next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Right.
Adios.